Morning. It's morning where I'm at. Let me just get this share here on our Facebook channel. There we go. Share now. Maybe? Bear with me. I'm getting her. All right. Well, today is Tuesday the 12th. If I can get this working, we are golden. Now, that's why. All right. So it's official. We are good to go. All right. Thanks for joining me. Hi, Amy. How are you? Get a little bit more info right now. Oops. I'm going to click happy. I'm going to get out of there. There we go. Hey, Wyatt. Good deal. All right. We're live. We're working on it. We're talking about our scorecard bonus, which we visited a little bit about yesterday. Well, fair amount about yesterday. But for any of you who are interested in any of the positions that we'll talk about later on, obviously go ahead and give us a call. You can apply at drivedecker.com, which I think is backwards on your screen, but drivedecker.com. And you can always get a hold of one of the recruiters at 888-668-0698. So there you go. There you have it. So yesterday we talked about the company a little bit at the beginning. So now we're going to talk about owner-operator lease purchase at the beginning. So swap it up on you. All right, we're talking about the scorecard bonus. So this bonus is used for several different bonus incentives, I guess. It's used not only to calculate the monthly bonus, but also used to help, I guess, for the driver of the month and driver of the year, which we'll be announcing pretty soon here in April. So I'm excited about that. Woohoo! Not backwards? Oh, sweet. It's backwards on my screen. So I just need to know what it says. Okay, well, good. Looks better than I thought. All right, so the scorecard bonus. For the owner operators, you can max out at an extra 3 cents a mile. So first off, for an owner operator or lease purchase, for the flatbed division, we pay 72% of the load. So that's what you're getting per load. And for the refrigerated division, it's $1 a load plus the fuel surcharge. And that's going to be on all dispatch miles. So whether they're loaded or empty, all dispatch miles. And then, of course, we want more incentives because that's just going to help you out in the long run, right? So one of those incentives is our monthly bonus. And that's where the scorecard is going to weigh in. The majority of it's going to weigh in there. So you can get, I should mention that for the refrigerated division, for the lease purchase and owner operator, you can get a penny raise or will get a penny raise on your first year. And so you'll get, I think, first 2 years, I think it is. So 101 and 102 on your third year. So, and then again, you get the fuel surcharge on top of that. So whatever the fuel surcharge is, it's based off the national average. So that's what you'll be getting. For the owner operator, the 3 cents, in order to get the full 3 cents per mile for that bonus, you're going to get, you'll need to get a scorecard point average of anywhere from 975 to 1,000. So the max in both the company and the lease purchase, the max point are 1,000. So with the company, you have to have a perfect score, but as an owner operator, it is weighed a little bit different. We don't take in idle time or fuel compliance in for the lease purchase and the owner operator side. So if you don't have a perfect score, that's okay. You can still get that 3 cents more per mile. And basically, before you even go into the lease purchase, we want to make sure that you do have or maintain at least 850 points for, guess who still has their volume on? So 850 points is what we want you to maintain as a company driver for 90 days at least before you transition into the lease purchase. So we'll talk more about how to get those company points. But again, let me bounce back because that's what I do. We'll bounce back to the lease purchase and the owner operator scorecard. So as long as you've got 850 or more points, you'll be getting some point, some type of extra pay per mile. So if you have 850 to 924, you're going to get an extra penny per mile. If you have 925 to 974, you're going to get an extra 2 cents a mile. And again, like I said, anything from 975 on up to 1,000, you're going to get an extra 3 cents a mile. So that again is lease purchase and owner operator. And it's calculated based off of the number of miles that you ran, your claims, service failures, preventable accidents, and CSA score. So CSA violations. Those are all, not CSA score, but CSA violations. So those 5 things are calculated to get your full scorecard point system. With the miles, you're going to get 200 for the total points. And those are more like on a graduated scale. So the more miles you get, the more points you're going to have on that, within that score. And the max is going to be 200. And with the claims, it's either you have it, those points, or you forfeit those points. So if you have any driver-related claims, then you can lose as an owner-operator up to 150 points, or lease purchase, up to 150 points. With the service failures, same thing. If it's driver-related, you're going to lose. You'll lose or forfeit the whole 150 points. And with preventable accidents, it's up to 250. So 250 is what the point system is on preventable accidents. Again, it's what, like, you either have it or you don't. CSA violations, all 250 points of the CSA violations also would be forfeited if you had any violations. Again, driver related. So really the only thing that is scaled is miles. So miles are scaled. The claims, service failures, what else? Preventable accidents and CSA violations. Those are all based, like you either have them or you don't. You'll either forfeit them or you don't. So that's the one that can change. If you want more information on where your numbers are on a monthly basis, you can go ahead and either talk to your fleet manager, or if you check out our TransFlow app and you sign in there, then you can actually see what your numbers are. And that information will be available to you on the 10th for the month following when you ran all that. So everything for January was available on February 10th. Everything for February was available March 10th. So all that info is on the TransFlow app. But again, if you need some advice or need some coaching on it, you can get a hold of one of, like, your fleet manager or Jason or Darren, and they can help you get your numbers up on that, because we do want you to max out, because the better you're doing at that, the more efficient you are at it, then obviously the better we are as well. So any questions on that part? If your score is, okay, so that part is for the company drivers, the first little bit of that. With the miles, like I said, they fluctuate a little bit. So with the Midwest refrigerated, you need to get anything from 2,100 or more is going to get at least some points for that 200, some of those 200 points. So if you're getting at least 2,100 for the week average for the Midwest refrigerated, you'll get points. For the Midwest, or excuse me, for the Western refrigerated, which is our over the road, our coast to coast, anything 2,400 and up for miles for the week average, you'll be getting a part of that bonus. Bessemer, 2,000 miles and up for the week average, you'll be getting those. And 1,800 and up for the Midwest flatbed. That's basically how those miles work. But again, that's really the only one where you can have a fluctuation. Other than that, they're out. So that's flatbed. That's lease purchase and owner operator. So up to an extra 3 cents a mile. Make an extra 1 penny to lease operators, my understanding, lease operators are just 1 to 3 cents a mile. And on that one, I don't know if I can edit that on that last statement, if you can do that, 1 to 3. So, and with the company positions, you can get an extra 4 cents a mile. So again, that's every month. And it's based off of the miles. When I'm talking to the payroll department, it's based off the miles that you were paid for the month ahead. Thank you. The month ahead of time. So if it was within payroll for the month of February, you'll get that. That'll be calculated for the month of March. So it's not necessarily the 1st through the 30th or 1st through the 31st, or in February's case, 1st through the 28th, but more whatever was in with that 4-week pay period. So it'll probably be part of January for February, part of January, and the last week, I think, of February wouldn't be counted. So do you see how, if that makes sense to you? Basically, you're going to get four pay periods within that to calculate those miles. Does anybody have any questions on that, or hopefully I didn't confuse you, but that's how it is. Okay, must be okay. I don't see any questions on that, so I'm going to go with it. Absolutely. Yeah, if you have any questions whatsoever, definitely get a hold of your fleet manager and talk to them about it, because we want to see you like max out on that every time. That'd be awesome. And as long as you know what the criteria is, you're going to do a better job of obtaining that, of reaching those goals. But you got to set the goals. If you don't know what it is, can't set the goals. And if you don't set the goals, you're not going to be able to achieve it. So again, lease purchase, owner operator, you've got miles, CSA violations, don't have them. Preventable accidents, don't have them. Claims, don't get them. And what about service failures? That's the other one. Don't get that. Okay. Yeah, and every division is a little bit different, and it's just based off of what those average miles are. So we want to get at least 2,100, and this is going to go the same for lease purchase as owner operator for the miles section of it. At least 2,100 for the Midwest refrigerated, at least 1,800 for the flatbed that's out of Bessemer, the over-the-road flatbed. At least, or excuse me, not out of Bessemer. Let me back up. At least 2,100 for the Midwest refrigerated, at least 1,800 for the Midwest flatbed, at least 2,400 for the over-the-road refrigerated, coast to coast, and at least 2,000 for the Bessemer or the over-the-road flatbed. There we go. Now I got it. Crystal clear? Sure. So for the 4 cents a mile, a couple of things that are factored in that aren't in the owner-operator part or the lease purchase are the idle time and your fuel efficiency. So your miles per gallon, we do want you to get, the better, obviously, the more points you're going to get on that. So if you have 7.7 or more, then you'll get an extra, or you'll get 50 points for that. If you have less than 7.3 or 7.3 or less, then you won't get any points on the miles per gallon or the fuel efficiency, okay? And that's just 50 points total for that one. You'll get, your idle time is going to be 150 points total. So anything for idle time more than 18%, 0 points for that. Anything less than 5 or less, 5 or less for idle percentage is going to get 150 points total. So the smaller your number is on your idle percentage, the better. So, and then it's just going to, there's tiers. So you've got a 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150 point tier. So there you go. She got it right there for you. And don't forget, we have APUs in all of the trucks. So honestly, that should help you a ton. You shouldn't have a massive idle time. And if you're stopped, turn off the truck. This time of year, it is, sometimes you do get a little bit more idle time because of the weather, and sometimes, well, a lot of times in some cases. So if you have to idle, obviously, we understand that's going to come into account. Weather is going to have a factor, but If your APU unit is not working, you have to let your driver managers know. You need to let the shop know, because those are all things that are going to come into account. And we can't compare somebody who has a broken APU to someone who doesn't. So if that makes, that's got to make sense. It just wouldn't be fair. Okay. But the idle percentage, again, anywhere that's going to be up to 150 points. And if you're anywhere between or under 18 for a percentage, you're going to get some sort of bonus for that. Hi, Ronnie. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Let us know if you have any questions. If you do, you can just leave it right there in the chat section, or you can always call our recruiting department, 888-668-0698. Yeah, how do we approach this? So let's see. Okay, so when it comes to the APUs, if it is broken, like I said, you got to get a hold of the shop, or you need to talk to your driver manager so that they're aware of it, because then that's when we can make those adjustments. Not happy, huh? So tips for maximizing your monthly payouts. You improve your miles per gallon, your idle time. Like I said, turn off the truck. If you're stopped, turn off the truck. That's going to improve your idle time. That's 150 points total. So you want to get the most out of those. And your miles. As soon as you're empty, let your driver manager know so that they can put you on the next load. It's first come, first serve. So as soon as you are empty, we can move on to the next one. For the refrigerated divisions, if you're in the Midwest, it's about 50% drop and hook. Out in West, it's about 30%. So we do have pre-plans on you. We want to make sure that we're maximizing your miles as much as possible. So again, make sure that you let your driver manager know. All right. Yep. Ask for pre-plans, 2 days, get empty, plan your trips, manage your time. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Plan your breaks. Fuel efficiency. And your fuel routes, all going to be helpful in the compliance. Claims, with the claims as a company driver, those are a total of 100 points. So don't get any claims. Service failures, preventable accidents. Again, these are all driver related accidents, service failures, and claims, CSA violations. You'll be forfeiting all of your points if you have any of those within that month period. And whatever you had in January has no bearing on February. And that's the nice part of it. It's not a quarterly bonus, it is a monthly bonus. So you have a clean slate every single month. There you go. You can check it out, same as with the owner operators and the lease purchase. You can get your numbers by just going to our TransFlow app and logging in there. On the 10th of every month, it'll be available to you. And you can always talk to your driver manager or your fleet manager about it too. Right there. That's exactly right. Yep. Communicate with your driver manager so that you can manage your time a little bit better. And one other thing that we've talked about before is when you're on home time, a lot of times if you rack up, or if you're taking home time, ideally you'll want to split that home time around Saturday night, because Saturday night is when your payroll comes in, or when your payroll has to be in order to get paid on Friday. So all your paperwork has to be in by 10 p.m. And if you are splitting, say you've been out for 3 weeks and you're looking to take 4 days home, well, if you got 2 days on the end of the pay period and 2 days on the beginning of the next pay period, it's not going to, it's not going to cut into your pay, or it's going to be more balanced, I guess, in the long run. So anything from, say you're taking Saturday or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Monday off, because of your home time, then you're not going to have 4 days on the previous paycheck that are going to be missing versus 2 days. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. Whether or not I'm communicating it well is the question. Yeah, yep. But it is, well, once he goes back into all, because every month will be new. Knowledge is power. That's right. As long as it's communicated well. As long as we understand the knowledge. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever on that scorecard bonus? We also use this scoring to help determine who receives driver of the month. So driver of the month is weighed not only on the scorecard, but also on expectations of the fleet manager, communication with the fleet manager. And it's not that you have to constantly be on the phone with them or messaging through Qualcomm, but just the efficiency of the communication that you have. And the same with the shop. Basically all of the different departments are going to vote for the driver of the month. And the driver of the month then also has, I mean, that's a whole different bonus at that point. But you've got the you've got the monthly bonus, which is based off the scorecard, and then the driver of the month, which is weighed off of the scorecard as well. So, and then the top three, depending on the division, but the top three or so for with the highest scorecard in each division they are going to be voted on based off of all of the different departments here at Decker. And at that point, they'll go to the next step to earn their driver of the month status or the driver of the month nominee. Yes, so last month we had 170 drivers, so it's a little bit more than a third of our company drivers that received the monthly bonus. So a little over a third, which isn't bad, not at all actually, but we would love to see at least 50% or more. Ideally, we'd get 100%, but we want to see everybody obtain that scorecard bonus. Our goal is to get you to that, so get that and more. Okay, so the more we can get you, the better. And that, in some people's cases, it was an extra $500. Absolutely. We did have almost 50% for our owner-operators, lease purchase guys, about 50% there. Payout right around an extra 350 to 400 is going to be the max there. About 350 to 375, I think is more accurate. Yeah, if you want more information, Anna has gone ahead and put the link in there for you for our monthly scorecard, and all the details on it. That's our blog, so drivedecker.com/blog, and you can go ahead and access that. So you have the full printout. Illustration of how that pays, what's weighed, what the criteria is, so that you can max out on that. Sound good? All right. So I did just get there it is. We got an update on our hiring needs for the week of, what was yesterday? The 11th of March. There you go. We do have a couple of Mars positions available. Those day positions are filling up a lot faster. So even though we've been rewarded more, congrats to those who are on it, we do need to get at least, we have 6 positions still available for that. So, all right, Amy, thanks for popping in there. Appreciate it. Drive safe today. So so for our Lamar's daily run, this is a home daily position, and it's a day position, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. that I have 6 positions left. It's 2 days on, 2 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off, and then back to the 2 on, 2 off schedule. Now with the Lamar's night load, I do have 11 positions available right now, and those are 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Again, 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 3 off, and really every other weekend is going to be a full 3-day weekend. So you'll get that off every other weekend. If you want more details on it, if you live in the Lamar's area, Sioux City area, or Sioux Falls, then give us a call at 888-668-0698, and we'll give you more details. It's a $2,500 sign-on bonus, so you get $1,000 on first dispatch, you'll get $250 for the next 6 months. So that's the sign-on bonus for that one, Lars. Refrigerated home daily position. So sound good? Excellent. Excellent. We do have a position. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry. 888-668-0698 is the telephone number for that, or drivedecker.com. So we do have our Midwest dry van position. We've opened up the hiring area to the Minneapolis area, but it is 2 weeks out of Minneapolis. You'll be getting home every 2 weeks. Now, if you live along I-80 from Lincoln to Gary, Indiana, then that's weekly home time there. So you get weekly home time for that dry van position. It's hauling a lot of pet products, basically preloaded trailers on the initial run. And then on the back haul, it could be a variety of things, and most likely a live load in those cases. But we do have several different positions. We've been rewarded more of those as well. So again, great job to those who have already been on those runs. If you live in Atlanta, Georgia, Hartwell, Georgia, Anderson, South Carolina, we do have every 2 weeks for home time. So 2 weeks out for home time, but we do have dry van. So opening up more areas for you guys on that one. The Fort Dodge short haul. So again, this is one that we've had full for quite some time. We are giving more opportunities for it. So we're opening up a little bit for you guys. That one will stretch to about 5 more drivers. Again, we're looking for professional flatbed drivers. If you don't have experience, we can train, but we're looking for experienced flatbed drivers, especially for this one, which would get you home about every other day and home on the weekends. So more information on that flatbed. Again, with this one, we are looking for you to live around the Fort Dodge area, Omaha, but it's about, home about every other day, but it pays 41 cents a mile, and 10 cents of that's per diem. And yep, I'm trying to think of anything else on that one. Oh, the Sioux City area, we're also hiring out of for that Fort Dodge flatbed. So Fort Dodge, Omaha, Sioux City area, and Minneapolis. So it can get you home every other day. But you do need to live within about 50 miles of any of those locations that I just named. Okay, excellent. You get a penny raise after 90 days. Yep, starts at 41, but you get a penny raise after 90 days and every year on your anniversary. Right now, the cap is at 45 cents. We pretty much run within that radius as well. So then I also have another dedicated position, home daily, out of Fort Dodge. Fort Dodge is our corporate office, Fort Dodge, Iowa. So yes, this is a hopper position. If you don't have details on that, get a hold of one of the recruiters. They'll give you all the details. But it's 2 days on, 2 days off. We like that schedule. 3 days on, 3 days off, and then back to the 2 on, 2 off schedule. So really, you're working about half the time. It's not part-time, but you're working about half the time as somebody that's over the road, and you're still able to get some great money, get a good income. And it's easier to it's easier to budget. So if you are trying to, one of your goals for the year is to improve your financial status and to budget a little better, this is a good opportunity for you. So we've got a few of those. But this one is running hopper from Fort Dodge, Iowa to Blair, Nebraska, back and forth. It's usually just 1 load a day, sometimes 2. And sometimes on your way back, you're looking at a back haul, but probably 1 out of every 4 loads are going to have a back haul. We're looking for 3 drivers on that one. What we do have available are the evening shifts. So one starts at 8 p.m. and then I have 2 positions available at 11 p.m. So it's approximately about 8 hours for, with normal weather, nothing that's with bad roads or anything like that. But it's about an 8-hour shift, 8 p.m. start, and we have 1 position available. With the 11 p.m. start, we have 2 positions available. That one actually pays $250 for the Monday through Friday run. And again, it's 2 on, 2 off, 3 on, 3 off. But on the Monday through Friday days, you'll be getting the $250. per shift, and for the Saturday, Sunday shifts, you'll get the $275 per shift. So, absolutely. Oh, and she has gone ahead and put that link to a little bit more detail on there, so you can check that out. Hi, Mud Flap. You are off or not flying around anywhere, huh? Good to see you. So yeah, more information on that, 888-668-0698. Off for a couple of days. What are your plans? Hopefully relaxing. Staying on the ground. Deserved, absolutely. Speaking of, I did have a question. Fishing? That's not a bad thing to do at all. I did have a question earlier about the flatbed division out of Bessemer, so I wanted to go ahead and address that for anybody who was looking for more information out of there. Yes, we do hire out of Florida for the flatbed division. It's going to be based out of based out of Bessemer, Alabama, and it's coast to coast. So most of it's going to be in the Southeast, in the Midwest, but there still runs out west in that division. If you're in the Florida area, so really anywhere from, for the most part, anywhere from Tampa, Orlando north in Florida, then you can expect about 3 weeks out at a time. And then basically a day or home for a day, day and a half for every week that you're out. So if that's what you're looking for, it's over the road flatbed. It pays anywhere from 44 cents a mile to 54 cents a mile based off experience. And of course, if you don't have experience, we can train you. So training is, there's lots of different levels depending on what kind of experience you have. But say you are just right out of school, you're going to go out with a trainer for about 3 to 5 weeks. We pay you $500 a week while you're with a trainer. And that is, of course, after our orientation, which is in Bessemer. We also have it in Fort Dodge. But the training is going to consist of basically a week of orientation and about 3 days of securement training. So tarping and securement training. So it's real thorough, and you're going to leave here feeling good and knowing what you're doing. So that's what we have for our over-the-road flatbed student training. Now, again, $500 a week is what you'd be getting while you're with a trainer. And then once you're done, you'll be at 44 cents a mile. 10 cents of that's per diem. And you're working your way up to 47 cents a mile by the end of the first year. So you'll get penny increases about every quarter. Thank you for sharing that. You betcha. So we'll have that. And if you have flatbed experience, then you can just transition straight into the company position after orientation. And if you have a year of over the road or more, but you don't have any flatbed experience, and that's what you're wanting to get into, then you'll have the orientation followed by the securement training, which we pay $100 a day for the securement and tarp training. After orientation, $800. Let's back up. Orientation pays $800 for the completion of that. And then we basically split that up. So you get $400 the week of orientation and then $400 the following week. That way you've got money coming in every week. And then for the securement and tarping training, you're going to get an extra $100 for every day that you do that. So if you are an experienced driver, then once you've completed the orientation and securement training, then you'll transition into the company driver solo, and you're looking at 47 cents a mile. For the most part, 47 cents a mile, could be up to 51 depending on how much experience you have altogether. But again, non-flatbed experience. And then we'll get you a penny raise after 90 days and every year on your anniversary until you max out. If you're experienced, you're going to go straight into anywhere from 47 to 54 cents a mile in the flatbed. And again, increases. Max out right now is at 54 for that. Anna and her jokes. I'm not going to repeat it because I'm not very good at telling jokes, but I do want to be funny. There are jokes going along the side here. I love it. She's gonna beat you. I'm just gonna tell you. She always has the best jokes. Yes. Yeah. The training consists of tarping a load, untarping a load, securing the load, and unsecuring. And it's not only being shown how to do it, the demonstrations, but also the hands-on. So excellent. So that's my flatbed division. And again, it's in the Florida area, you're out about 3 weeks at a time. If you are in Alabama or Georgia, we can get you home on a weekly basis for that same division. You can stay out longer, but we can get you home on a weekly basis. If you're in the Mississippi, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas area, am I missing any of those? The Carolinas, you can basically expect to get home about every 2 weeks for that one. Okay. And that's my flatbed. Now we do have flatbed in the Midwest as well. Most of the hiring area in our Midwest is going to get you home on a weekly basis. And we have a decent sized area that's guaranteed pay as well. So if you live from Mason City to Fort Dodge, Iowa, Mason City, Iowa to Fort Dodge to Chicago, Illinois, up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, back to Mason City. If you live along that route, we have the guaranteed pay that will get you $13.50 every week. Of course, you do need to make the minimum requirements, which is be available for dispatch, have 100% on-time delivery, have all your paperwork in, and no driver service failures. So we're not asking beyond what your responsibilities are, which is nice, but that's the $13.50 a week. What we would like to see is you make more than that $13.50 a week. So you have the option to make more. If the loads are available and you're making yourself available for dispatch right away, then we can get you anywhere. We'll pay you, anywhere from 44 to 54 cents a mile on that guaranteed pay. And that the difference between the pay per mile is really where your experience level is, and based off of whatever miles you ran. So if you ran more miles and then the amount of pay you got per mile exceeded that $13.50, then you're going to get the better of the two. And that's what we want to see. Absolutely. So that's what we want to see. And that's our Midwest flatbed guaranteed pay. But our Midwest flatbed pays anywhere from 44 to 54 cents a mile as well. And that one fluctuates depending on where you live for home time. For the most part, it's home weekly, home on the weekends. We also have home every 2 weeks in some areas, like if you're in Ohio or Pennsylvania, around Pittsburgh, I guess, then you probably be looking more at the 2 week period instead of the weekly home time, which most areas of Illinois, Iowa, the South Dakota area, Minneapolis area, St. Louis, Kansas City, those areas are usually home on a weekly basis. Yes. Oh, she did remind me that we have a flatbed position available. It's a daily position, local position that is Monday through Friday. Very rarely will you have a Saturday, but it is a possibility. Pays $17 an hour, and it's in Bessemer, Alabama. So I mentioned that Bessemer is our location for our over-the-road flatbed. There's also a position available there, and you can work with a great team. They do a good job of taking care of you. So it's $17 an hour. We do require flatbed experience for that position. And we haul a lot of coils, steel beams. We're looking for somebody that has experience with coils, most specifically. Yeah, if any of that sounds good, if you live in the Bessemer area, Birmingham, Bessemer area, give us a call. It's 888-668-0698. And give you some more details. Orientation would be in Bessemer for that position as well. Mm-hmm. And it would just be Monday through Friday, because you don't need to do the securement training and tarping for that local position, because again, we're requiring the experience for that. Yeah. Midwest flatbed, we hit on that. We have a dedicated position that's home weekly for refrigerated. And I'm going to sneeze. For refrigerated, and that is running from Council Bluffs to, Council Bluffs, Omaha to multiple areas like Illinois and Wisconsin and sometimes Minnesota, back into the Nebraska area. But it's home on the weekends, and it pays anywhere from 43 to 50 cents a mile for that position. Again, a penny raise after 90 days, and every year on your anniversary till you cap out. Cap on that one is 55 cents. Midwest refrigerated. That one is a guarantee, or not guaranteed, that one is a dedicated. Speaking though, guaranteed, let's talk about that. Again, the guaranteed, you do need to meet the minimum requirements of being available for dispatch, having no service failures, and 100% on-time delivery, and get your paperwork in. Paperwork you can get in with the TransFlow app or the onboard scanner. So it's right there, easy peasy. And you can get all of that in right away. As long as you meet those requirements, you're going to get $12.50 per week for the refrigerated Midwest guaranteed pay. You do need to live anywhere, basically anywhere from Omaha to Chicago on I-80, or Sioux Falls to Chicago on I-90. Although Madison, we don't have anything available out of Madison. But for the most part, anywhere else along there, I-80 and I-90, we can get you home, not only get you home weekly, but have guaranteed pay of $12.50. Now, that being said, what's pretty awesome is in that division, we've got a lot of guys that are actually exceeding that on a regular basis. So even though we have that safety net of $12.50 a week, most of them are making a little bit more than that. The pay per mile to make more than that is anywhere from 43 to 50 cents a mile. Again, 10 cents of that's per diem. And you do get a penny raise after 90 days and every year on your anniversary with the cap of 55. But you have to be available for dispatch. Well, for the cents per mile, you just need to run more miles than what you would have to get that $12.50. So the better you do, better we do, the more you're rewarded. We like that. Boot Heel Brian. Well, let's take a look at that. Give me 1 second here. Brian, make sure that I see your app as soon as I get off this. So it'll be about 20 minutes, but I will make sure that we get back to you on that one. Okay, you betcha. Oh, Anna's already on it. I'm too slow. Yes, he has been. That's exactly right. So we will take care of that. Absolutely for you. Very good. Let us know if you have any questions on that position, though, too, Brian, and we can answer those for you right now as well. Because if I'm guessing that if you have questions on it, that somebody else probably does. So make sure we answer those. We do have a dedicated position that's home every other day. That one's refrigerated out of, well, actually I have two positions. One out of Sioux Falls, or Sioux City. I always say that, Sioux City, and runs to Chicago, and then one out of St. Joe, Missouri, and runs to Chicago. So it's multiple stops sometimes in the Chicago area, but it's just one pickup out of both St. Joe, Missouri, and Sioux City, Iowa for that. It's refrigerated, home every other day for basically a 10-hour, and home on the weekends. And that one does pay 43 to 50 cents a mile, depending on your experience. It also has a $2,500 sign-on bonus. So if you have, for the sign-on bonus, it's $500 on first dispatch, and then $250 for the next 8 months. Oh, right. Live in Southeast Missouri. So you're looking at our over-the-road flatbed, Brian, sounds like. So our over-the-road flatbed, that one would get you home about every 2 to 3 weeks, and home for a couple of days. Basically, like I said, about a day and a half for every 7 days you're out. I don't know your experience level, but again, it would pay anywhere from 44, excuse me. Well, I guess if you're experienced, about 47 to 54 cents a mile, and 10 cents of that's going to be per diem. Penny raise after 90 days. Penny raise every year on your anniversary till you cap out. 2 years of experience. Is it flatbed experience, Brian, or is it like random experience? Random. Like, is it non-flatbed experience, or do you have some flatbed? If it's just If it's like refrigerated and van and no flatbed experience, you're looking at 47 cents a mile. If you've got some flatbed experience, then you're looking probably at 49 cents a mile, I believe, on that one. Either way, you're going to get a penny raise after 90 days and every year on your anniversary. There's a $5,000 bonus that you also get. That's on your 1 year anniversary. You do need to run a minimum of 100,000 miles for the flatbed division to get that. So yeah, so Brian, you'd be right at the 49 cents a mile. Again, 10 cents per diem is included. So you get the $5,000 bonus you get on your 1 year anniversary. It pays in one lump sum. The minimum requirement, or the only requirement, is that you got 100,000 miles within your first year. So, and as long as you are available, as long as you're available for dispatch and you're active for the year, you should have no problem getting that 100,000. This month, I think, in March, last March was the first time we started our $5,000 payout, and we're going to be getting the numbers on all of that here shortly on who all received it. I am pretty sure that it is like 98 or more percentage on who received that 5,000 or who will be receiving that 5,000 for the month of March. Let me get you an update on that once I get all the numbers. More information on securing the loads, and we can have you go through the load securement at the terminal as well, which would be, like I said, $100 a day for following the orientation. But that way you'll learn how to do it correctly, and have some confidence in it. A lot of guys have said that even with flatbed experience, they've benefited from that just because it's a different, it's often a different technique than other companies teach, and it's more efficient, more effective, and more efficient. So maybe not for everybody, some people might already know it, but for some it's helpful. Yep, can do. Cool. I miss anything? Yep, I need to, for the refrigerated, for that $5,000 bonus, for those of you who are over the road, that's what it falls under. So if you're looking for the refrigerated, you do need to meet a minimum of 110,000 miles for that, but flatbed's 100,000. Oh yeah, so Brian, it would definitely be a good idea to have that securement just under your belt, because we don't really do a lot of heavy equipment. We don't do a lot of oversized loads or anything like that. And with the coils, it would be a good idea to have that training. So sounds good to me. You're good. That's right. Anybody else have good deal? Anybody else have questions? Oh, yesterday we started talking about the team position. We do hire a team in our over-the-road refrigerated. What I failed to do was tell you the rest of that payout. So $50 for the over-the-road refrigerated team. There we go. It's $5,000 that you get for a bonus by the end of your first year. You do need to run a minimum of 110,000 miles, like I said, and that 5,000 is split. But most of our teams are running, 20 plus every month. So the bonus system on that is, first of all, it's 50 cents a mile that you're going to get every single week on all your miles. So all dispatch miles loaded and empty, 50 cents a mile. That 50 cents a mile is going to be split between the team. So 25 for driver A, 25 for driver B, and 5 cents of each is going to be per diem. So it's 10 cents total, just like with any of our solo positions that are over the road. So 10 cents total is per diem, 5 apiece. And the more miles you guys run as a team, the more pay you get per mile. So if you're looking at, say you ran 12 to 14,000 for the month, again, it's the month previously. So anything you ran in February is calculated in March and paid the third pay period of March is when that bonus is. Every single week is when you're going to get that 50 cents a mile. The extra 2 to 8 cents more per mile is going to be paid the third week of the third pay period of the month following when you ran it. Crystal clear? Sometimes I have to repeat that to myself a couple of times, make sure I said it right. So if you ran between 12 and 14,000 miles a month, you're going to get an extra 2 cents a mile, 1 cent a piece. And if you're running between 14 to 16,000 miles a month, an extra 2 or 4 cents a mile, so 2 cents a piece, and an extra 6 cents a mile if you ran between 16 to 18,000 miles a month the month before. And again, that's 3 cents per driver. And if you ran an 18,000 or more for the previous month, you're going to get an extra 4 cents per driver. So 8 cents total. And again, that's taxable. So you still have the 10 cents per diem, but the extra amount is taxable income. The back of the Airbus is flat. Does that count? No, it does not. No, he is a pilot, so that's where he's getting that. All right, so what else? With the team position, most of our teams stay out at least 3 weeks at a time. So we can get you home every 2 weeks in most cases if you're within the hiring area, but we've seen more success for our teams if they're staying out 3 weeks at a time. A lot of them stay out longer by choice. That's fine. That's totally fine. But basically call a recruiter so that we can get you the specifics to your area. So get a hold of the recruiter at 888-668-0698. That way we know exactly what you're going to be expecting for home time, and you know exactly what you're going to be expecting for home time, and we can see if there's anything that's dedicated available to you. So for our teams, we do have teams that are on dedicated runs, and we do try and get you guys on dedicated runs, but they're not always available. And depending on where you live, if there is a dedicated run out there, sometimes it takes a week to work you onto that run. Again, depending on where you live, and a week to get you off of that run. And that's why that 3 weeks is usually a minimum amount for a lot of our teams. Yeah, you can reach us at 888-668-0698 just to make sure you're within the hiring area for the teams. And we don't just team you up with anybody. You need to bring a team member on if you're looking to team. So we just don't pick and choose who you're going with. You can apply at drivedecker.com. There you go. drivedecker.com. All right. Yes, students, we take on students. So as long as you graduated from a PTDI certified school or a minimum of 160-hour course, then we can work with that. You'll have to get us the details, the breakdown of the course material. That would be handy. We do have a reimbursement that after you have ran with us for 90 days, we will reimburse you $200 a month until that is paid off. The maximum is $6,000, but I believe most of them are anywhere between 34 and 56, I think. 5,600 is what most of those schools are. So it should cover it for the most part. So yeah, that's the student for the training. And if you have experience in the military, we can count that towards your experience. Of course, you do need to have taken a course recently to get you qualified for the training. Training is 3 to 5 weeks with one of our trainers, whether it be flatbed or refrigerated, depending on the division you're going for. And it's $500 a week while you're with the trainer. Brian, so for your area, it's over the road. So you're based out of Bessemer. I'm assuming based out of being in the Southeast Missouri, I'm pretty sure that all we have right there is our over the road flatbed, which would get you home about every 2 weeks. But once I look up your application, I'll be sure to double check that to make sure I'm giving you the right information there. I cheat sometimes. She gives me some at it right there. Look at how handy she is. Plus, it's been a while. I've been able to get that information over several years. All 48. Okay, awesome. And I did verify that. Yep, 12 to 14 days out. Okay, cool. See, she got my back, making sure that we're covering you. Excellent. Okay. We'd probably send you, honestly, Brian, you have the choice of going to Bessemer, Alabama for orientation or Fort Dodge. Just depends on when you want to get started. Bessemer, she is. Teamwork. Dang right. Let's see. We've got a new schedule for Bessemer. For those of you who don't know it, we run our Bessemer orientation. It is often designed for students or inexperienced flatbedders. So that way we can give you a little bit more attention in the hands-on training. Anyways, we've got Bessemer started yesterday. So we'll have another orientation in Bessemer starting on the 21st. Make sure I'm right. Looks like I'm right. Gee, I've got my little calendar. Still, I got to focus on it. DriveDecker.com. Yes. Did I write that wrong? I'm going to be here when I grow up. Awesome. Did anybody have any questions on our scorecard? We talked about that at the beginning, but I didn't know if everybody made it. Brian, are you aware of what our scorecard bonus is? What all that entails? It is our monthly bonus, and you can get up to an extra 4 cents a mile as a company driver. If you're a lease purchase or owner operator, then you can get up to an extra 3 cents a mile. But what's nice about the scorecard is if your numbers are good, you can not only benefit it with the monthly bonus, the extra 4 cents a mile, but you can also get the extra driver of the month, or at least in the runnings for driver of the month if your numbers are high. And usually we see that for those who are in 950 or more are usually the ones that are getting nominated for driver of the month. Yeah, scorecard. Excellent. Okay. Well, there you go. I have taken up your hour, and I appreciate all of you who have joined me here today, Anna and I. And so if you have any questions, please, you can either leave it in the chat. I'm going to be getting back to a couple of those that are just trailing in or watching the replays. I'll be getting back to you here in just a moment. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because you don't want to miss any of this awesomeness that we provide. Right, Anna? Right. And the side conversations over here. And also on Mondays at 4 p.m. Central, we do our Monday Live, our Q&A on Mondays on our Facebook channel. So make sure that you follow us there, which is facebook.com/DTL Inc. And yes, well, that's what we're going for. We're trying at least. And then with the YouTube, we always have our live on Tuesday at noon Central. And a lot of it's going to be review from our Facebook, but not everybody can make the Facebook and not everybody can make the YouTube. So we want to make sure we're giving opportunity to all for these Q&As. And as always, get a hold of one of our recruiters at 888-668-0698, or drivedecker.com is where you can apply. And well, you know what, Brian, we're going to have another energetic video. Actually, it's not too energetic, but we'll have another video coming out to you here on our YouTube channel a little bit later today. Just a post view. I want to say preview, but it's not really. It's a little snapshot of our first load out of the Prestige plant at Wright County. And first one, John Cecil, he got to take the first load, and pretty cool. If you missed it, we're going to send that over to you. Oh, also, if you missed it, you guys get on to our Facebook channel. We like to have games going on. And right now we've got, not a game, but it's pretty fun. Go onto our Facebook, and there's a pin to the top. is what do I want to call it? It's like your leprechaun name. I'm just going to call it that. It's your leprechaun name. And I want to know what your leprechaun name is. So put it in there. Mine was Snappy. Crumb. I can't remember what mine was. It was like Snappy Hair something. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny. You're going to have fun with it. And that's what I want to see. So we've got St. Patty's Day coming up. So you got to play, have a little fun with it. Where are you guys going to be eating for your St. Patty's Day meal? And do you eat the official St. Patty's Day meal, or do you just have something else? That's what I know. Oh, yeah, Brian, we've got one. Actually, if you look, give me a second. Here's an inside of one of the Peterbilts. So I'm going to post that, Brian. There you go. Okay, so that's the inside of one of our Peterbilts. It's a 2018 model, so I don't have the brand new ones. When I went to go check out the 2019s, they were either being loaded into or they weren't fully equipped with all of our goodies yet. So our trucks have APUs, refrigerators, bunk heaters, CB units, navigation, Sirius radio. Now, Sirius radio, it's all equipped in the truck. You do need to have a subscription, unless you are part of or have qualified under our referral program to get a year's subscription paid for. So we do have that if you refer 2 or more drivers in a year's time. So check that out. What else? So I've got APU, bunk heater, CB unit, navigation, Sirius radio. They have the onboard scanners in the truck, and you can use the TransFlow app, but onboard scanners in the truck. We have the inward, outward facing event recorders. So that's part of our smart drive system, as well as the lane departure device. We do in the 2019s, I know that both the passenger and the driver's seat, obviously, are air ride. Some of the 2018s, I don't think the passenger ones are. But I'm trying to think of what else we've got in there. Lots of storage. But you'll see, this is a 2018 model that I just sent you. We've got the 579 Pete's, we have 730 Volvos, and the Cascadias, the 2019 Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. Those suckers are big. Lots of storage in there. So there you go. Those are the details. All right. Thanks again, you guys, for joining us today. And I guess we will talk to you next Tuesday here on YouTube. And again, that's at noon Central, 11 Mountain Time. And then Monday at 4 p.m. Central. So we will talk to you then. Have an awesome rest of your week. Take care, you guys.